Ravens beat the Vikings 27-19, 3 straight wins for the Ravens, who are now 4-5. 3 forced turnovers today, 2 on defense. Malaki, Starks, and Marlon Humphrey got interceptions. Special team showed out today. Keandre Jackson forced a fumble on the kickoff. Tyler Luke made 4 field goals. Offense got a slow start, left a lot of points on the board, but got going in the second half. We're going to dive into all the details of this Ravens win in this post-game episode of the Flock Rundown.
Ravens Flock. Flock Rundown is the place to be.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Ravens beat the Vikings 27-19 for their 3rd straight win. Wasn't the prettiest game. The offense left a ton of points out there, especially in the first half, but got rolling in the second half. Defense continues to show out, and the Ravens get their 3rd straight win. And sorry for not posting the preview episode or videos the past few days. I got engaged over the weekend, so that was really special, and just kind of been enjoying that, and a lot of planning and stuff went into that. So that's what I've been doing, but I'm back and won't be taking any more breaks. So let's go, man. Let's recap this game. Definitely a slow start for this Ravens offense, who really could have ran away with this game early, man. They left so many points out there on the board. There were multiple drops earlier in the game. Zay Flowers had a drop. Mark Andrews had a drop that could have been a touchdown. Isaiah Likely on that same drive had a drop that would have converted for a first down. Rashad Bateman dropped a touchdown that we ended up scoring anyway, so I guess it wasn't a big deal. But a few drops early in this game. The Ravens went 3 and out on their first 3 out of 4 possessions and really struggled to get the run game going early, man. We could not run inside with Derrick Henry at all. We were seeing more success with Keaton Mitchell. I don't know why they didn't bring him in the second half at all. I mean, it is what it is. We ended up getting the run game going, but I thought Keaton looked really explosive in the first half. We're barely running Justice Hill. I'd like to see more Keaton Mitchell. Derrick Henry, it's nothing on him. It's just the interior line was not opening up a lot of lanes early on in that game. And I thought as the game went on, they definitely improved. Todd Monken's play calling improved. But red zone struggles were real in that first half. We could not get in the end zone. Tyler Luke ended up making 4 field goals. He missed one from 56, but shout out to Tyler Luke. Huge day for him because we just couldn't get in the end zone early in this game, man. It was pretty frustrating to watch this offense earlier in the game. I'm like, the red zone struggles aren't new either. This has lingered throughout the season. And I think sometimes Todd Monken can kind of overthink down there. I don't know if it's him overthinking or just not trusting the line. I mean, we weren't able to run easily. You know, every time we went heavy formation, defense matched it. And once again, we lose the battle. You know, we can't get yards on the ground when the defense knows we're running. But I really like the second half adjustments. Got a little creative with some of the conversions on 3rd down. That one fake tush push pitch to Lamar. That's a wild play, but it worked. We ran another short yardage situation, just a direct handoff to Pat Ricard, which ended up converting. So Todd Monken definitely got a little bit more creative in that second half. Also, Lamar Jackson in the second half, I thought was really switching which side we're running the ball to, depending on what the defensive look was giving us. And, it started to open up. Plus, you're wearing down the defense. We started to get a bigger lead. I know they ended up coming back a little bit at the end, but the Ravens got out to a bigger lead and started pounding the ball in the 4th quarter and wore the defense down. So the run game did start going, but overall, run game had some resistance today, especially earlier in that game. Lamar Jackson ends up 17 for 29, 176 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, was sacked 1 time, and finished with an 87.7 passer rating. On the ground, Derrick Henry, 20 carries for 75 yards, so only averaging 3.8 yards a carry. Lamar Jackson ran a lot more in this game, 9 for 36 on the ground. Keaton Mitchell, 4 for 31. A lot of that was in the first half, though. I mean, Keaton Mitchell was busting off some good runs, had a 22-yard run. Not a huge day through the air. Zay Flowers led the way with 4 catches for 75 yards. Charlie Kohler, 1 for 23. Isaiah Likely, 2 for 17. Hopkins, 2 for 16. Mark Andrews, 3 for 14 and a touchdown. It's honestly shocking that Mark Andrews did not get 18 yards in this game to break the record for the Ravens' all-time leading receiver. Obviously, it's going to come, but I definitely thought it was coming today. I was like, oh, he only needs 18 yards. He's definitely getting 18 yards. And he didn't, but it's fine. He'll get it next game, and he scored a touchdown in the red zone that was much needed. It was a fight to get in the end zone today, so any touchdown we scored today was an accomplishment. But the offense still found a way to score 27 points in this game, and they left a lot of points on the board. Imagine if we would have just scored one or two of those red zone trips that we ended up kicking field goals. We kicked 4 field goals in this game. If we would have just scored 2 more touchdowns, like, we're dropped 40 on the board basically. So, I mean, the Ravens offense was right there, just struggled in the red zone again. Some play calling was inconsistent. The offensive line, very inconsistent in this game, especially early on, just could not, move the Vikings defense. They were losing the line of scrimmage battle again, which sucks. I just wish we were stronger and nastier in the trenches, man. We've been talking about that so much. I thought Fa'alele had some big whiffs again in this game. I definitely want to go back and dissect everyone. I don't really love calling out, offensive linemen right after the game ends, because offensive linemen are something that you need to kind of go back and really watch each guy and see, the collective game that they had. But I was noticing Fa'alele on a few plays blocking air, but I thought Voorhees got busy in the run game today. He's definitely getting a little bit better, so I'm liking the improvement I'm seeing from Voorhees. Pass protection a little inconsistent, but overall I liked what I saw from Voorhees in the run game, and the line started blocking a lot better towards the end of the game too. But overall, up and down, which is the story this season, right? Like, when it's bad, it's real bad, and a lot of the times that is Fa'alele. I'm not saying that he's always bad. I mean, his grades are actually half decent. It's just when he loses real bad, and it kind of ends drives. So that's a problem. You know what I mean? Like, lose slow if you're going to lose. Like, everybody loses here and there, but lose slow. And he loses real bad and sometimes just looks lost out there. So I definitely, at some point, hope we can upgrade the offensive line. I feel like a broken record saying this since early last year, but it is what it is. The line stepped up as the game went on, and I thought the Ravens battled through some adversity on offense, still scored 27 points. And one of the main things for the Ravens' success is not turning the ball over, and they dominated the turnover battle in this game. The offense did not turn the ball over. Defense forces 2 turnovers. We also get a special teams turnover, so we win the turnover battle 3-0, and Roquan almost had another pick. That diving pick was insane, but didn't count, I guess. So ended up winning the turnover battle 3-0, though. The Ravens are going to have a ton of success if they can keep winning turnover battles like that. The defense is picking up steam, getting turnovers week after week, back-to-back weeks with interceptions from Malaki Starks, man. Shout out to Starks. I think he is getting better quick. He's got confidence. Putting Alohi Gilman back there with him has helped a ton, and definitely, obviously, freeing Kyle Hamilton up like we keep talking about. He's a menace, game wrecker at the line of scrimmage. He's putting pressure on the quarterback. He's deflecting passes. He's blowing up screens. He's great tackling in the run game. I mean, Kyle Hamilton does it all, man. I love him being next to the line of scrimmage, and the way Starks and Gilman are playing in the back end, we're balling right now on defense. The defense looks great. And I know we're not going against top tier offenses. So, I hear the concerns of like, well, what happens when we go play the Chiefs or the Bills in the playoffs, or, the Lions or the Eagles or somebody? Like, yeah, we'll cross that road when we get there. I don't know. The defense is playing a lot better for 4 straight weeks now. We had a great game against the Rams when we let up 17 points, let up 16 against the Bears, who score on most teams, man. The Bears have a good offense. We held them to 16. Week after that, Dolphins held to 6, and now the Vikings to 19. I mean, the defense for 4 straight weeks has held the opponent under 20. That's an accomplishment. I know the competition's a little bit lower, but they're doing what they're supposed to do, man. The defense is stepping up, and Vikings scored late in this game, and definitely it got interesting towards the end. But overall, if you look at the entire game sample size, the defense really held their own, especially with the start they had in this game. I mean, they got punched in the mouth early. The Vikings went up 7-0 quick, had a huge 60-yard pass to Naylor on Marlon Humphrey, and that was the longest pass we've let up all season. I was like, oh man, like, is this defense breaking a little bit? But they buckled down right after that. And I know we're not getting a lot of sacks, but there was some pressure. I saw Mike Green almost getting home a few times, but forces McCarthy out of his spot. McCarthy's not a super experienced quarterback. This is his 4th game. So you want him moving. You want that first read taken away where he can't just deliver the ball right away and has to go out there and make something happen. JJ ended up having some nice scrambles towards the end of the game, but overall, he looked uncomfortable for the majority of this game, and we only had 1 sack. Travis Jones was the only guy that actually got a sack, but there was a ton of pressures. I mean, Draymond Jones almost got home twice, forced McCarthy out of his spot. All that matters, like McCarthy did a pretty good job of eluding guys. Marlon Humphrey had a easy sack, in my opinion, late in the game and just kind of whiffed on the tackle when JJ ducked. But regardless, JJ did a good job of getting out of some pressure. We definitely got to finish some sacks, but even making the quarterback move from his original spot and try to play make downfield randomly, especially an inexperienced quarterback like JJ McCarthy, is a win. So I feel like the defense was doing a solid job of making JJ McCarthy uncomfortable. Definitely want to get home more. I mean, we want more than one sack. I still think generating consistent pressure, especially when we're only rushing 4, is still something we have to be better at, and I'm not sure unless Mike Green just takes a huge leap or maybe Draymond Jones plays a lot more and ends up getting home for us, but I'm not sure if that guy's on the roster to just constantly be a game wrecker and win his matchups right now. I do think Mike Green can become that. I'm seeing all the tools. I mean, he's flashing every single game. He's playing a ton. I love what I'm seeing from Mike Green. All the rookies, man. I think Malaki Starks is playing a lot better. Teddy Buchanan's out there flying around, man. This is back-to-back games where he was just everywhere. I feel like he's attacking in space, flying to the ball, and I love what I'm seeing from Malaki Starks, Mike Green, and Teddy Buchanan, Tyler Loop. I mean, these are all rookies that are having serious impact on this Ravens team. Another guy on defense who I thought had a really strong game is Awuzie. I know he had that one pass interference call that was kind of iffy, but I thought Awuzie was playing physical. I mean, this dude's a competitor, man. This guy does play like a Raven. I would not mind extending him. Like, I love what I'm seeing from Awuzie. But this was the 4th straight strong performance from this defense, forcing turnovers, holding opponents to under 20. You hold opponents under 20 and win the turnover battle with this Ravens offense and Lamar Jackson, you're not going to lose many games. That is the recipe. So the Ravens are creating turnovers and holding teams to under 20, bending a little bit, definitely letting up some yards. And I think some of that is because we can't drop a ton in coverage because we can never get home with 4. If we just rush 4, the quarterback's got all day. So it does suck. I wish we had a game-wrecking pass rusher that could get home with 4. So we're going to be a little vulnerable in those moments. But overall, I think Zach Orr's been dialing it up for 4 straight weeks now. The Alohi Gilman addition coming over from that trade has done wonders for this defense. And I know we're not playing top-tier opponents, but this defense is building confidence, and that matters. So 4 straight great performances from this defense. I'll take it. And shout out to Keandre Jackson on special teams, too, man. This guy just signed to the 53 after we used all his practice squad elevations. He's not going anywhere. This guy is game wrecking on special teams game after game. I am super impressed. And he was flying around in the preseason too. He would come in later in those games and just hit dudes on defense, man. So shout out Keandre Jackson, man. I think he's got a bright future and I love what I'm seeing from him on the field. Shout out to Tyler Loop. I know he missed the 56-yarder, but he was carrying earlier in this game. I mean, 4 field goals and the kicks were straight. Even the one he missed, barely missed outside, and he's a rookie. I'm not going to beat him up over that. I think he's done a great job, handled the pressure really well this season. There's a lot of pressure on him replacing Tucker and being a consistent kicker for a potential Super Bowl team, at least a playoff contending team for sure. There's a lot of pressure with that to come in as a rookie kicker, but he's handling it well. And when the offense couldn't get in the end zone, Tyler Loop was there earlier in this game to get us field goals, get points on the board, and keep us in this game, eventually take the lead in this game because the defense started to get some stops. So shout out Tyler Loop, man. I think he's been amazing this season. Looking at the Vikings stats, JJ McCarthy was 20 for 42 passes is crazy, for 248 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, had a 54.5 passer rating. JJ McCarthy led the team in rushing, 5 carries for 48 yards. Aaron Jones, 9 carries for 47 yards and a touchdown. Mason, 4 for 25. They ran for 120 on the ground. A lot of that was late scrambling by JJ, though. And then in the receiving game, Naylor led the way, 5 catches, 124 yards and a touchdown. Huge day for him. Ravens held Justin Jefferson in check, 4 catches, 37 yards. Jordan Addison had 3 catches for 35 yards. Aaron Jones, 3 for 22. Ravens definitely faced some adversity in this game. I felt like the Vikings were fighting. They were at home. They played with energy, especially early in the game, man. They were giving the Ravens some problems, but the Ravens fought through it. They overcame it, and I wouldn't say it was like a dominant victory, but it was a little more than the score led on at the very end, just because the Vikings kind of made a little comeback there. But and sometimes, teams come all the way back, and us Ravens fans get fearful every time that happens. But the reality is the Ravens pretty much dominated the second half of this game and completely turned this game around, got a multiple possession lead, and started getting in their end zone, which was something they couldn't do in the first half. So I feel like the Ravens fought well through all this adversity, and 3 straight wins is 3 straight wins, man. We're 4-5. We got the Browns coming up, then the Jets, then the Bengals, so a couple division opponents, but nothing that we shouldn't be able to handle, man. The Ravens should continue to roll here. They got a couple wins to build that snowball of momentum. Now it's about showing up week in and week out, continue to go 1-0 each week. I feel like the Ravens are in full control of their destiny in winning the AFC North, making the playoffs. Now going on a run in the playoffs, we'll talk about that when we get there, but I just feel like the Ravens are doing everything they can right now and staying healthy for the most part. So that is a recipe to keep this thing rolling, and I like what I'm seeing from the Ravens right now, man. I like the way they've looked the past few weeks, especially the defense. I trust the offense is going to figure it out. I don't love the offensive line, but it is what it is. What are we going to do? They're not going to get any changes. I mean, Emery was another healthy scratch today. Maybe he starts to get ready soon and replaces Fa'alele. I don't think he's going to replace Voorhees. I think Voorhees is actually improving a little bit. Fa'alele doesn't seem to be. So if Emery can get ready quick, maybe we see a right guard change. I'd be super excited about that. But other than that, I mean, I trust the offense to keep putting up around 30 points. So as long as they're not turning the ball over and as long as the defense is continuing to do what they're doing right now, the Ravens are going to have a lot of wins down the stretch, man. So loving what I'm seeing, man. It's exciting to see these guys back in the win column. 4-5 still doesn't sound great if you said that at the beginning of the year, but we were just 1-5. So 4-5 sounds amazing right now. But let me know what you guys are thinking about this game and the rest of the season moving forward. Appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your night, and I'll let the greatest linebacker in the history of the game take us out.
Ravens flock. Flock Rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. So I'm telling you now, it's about to go down. The podcast, the Flock Rundown. Ravens, baby. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly.